You can be whatever you want to be. You can sing, start singing. You can dance, start dancing. But if you don't move and you think that you need money to make your dreams come into a reality, to bring these ideas into fruition, you're really limiting yourself, and that's not okay.
The African child. This is another amazing day to have another yet to prove and satisfy that is also an African child. But yeah, so you're most welcome to the African Child channel.
Thank you very much.
Please take it on from there.
Thank you very much, Frank. So my name is Fumi Ajayi. I'm a 21-year-old young person from the United Kingdom. I was born and raised in a city called Chichester, which is right on the south coast of England. And then in terms of what I do occupationally, I've done a whole bunch of things. So I've been a dance teacher and a drama teacher. I currently work in international climate finance with SSA, Sustainable Solutions for Africa. And I've traveled to Lomé in Togo to be able to do that and make that happen. I am a student at the University of Nottingham as well, and I study politics and American studies, which is a joint honours program. And I'm the first person on that program to take an internship here as well, which has been a really special experience. Aside from that, I do a whole bunch of creative things as well. So I was previously an actress and a dancer before going into academia full time. And I've had my own publication and magazine helping small businesses turn into something big within the UK creative space.
All right. This is where I feel excited as an African child because we have an expert. So, Femi, one of the most interesting thing about entrepreneurship is you must be exposed. You must have an idea.
Yeah.
You're working at SS. You have published paperwork about entrepreneurship.
Yes.
That comes with exposure.
Yeah.
From your perspective, where should an African child start from?
That's a really good question, actually. I think the answer has definitely changed over the years with obviously social media becoming such a big influence in every person's life, whether or not you're the local supermarket or you're trying to make a living off YouTube or whatever it is. Social media is what is driving the economy almost these days, I would say. And I think for any person that is wanting to start something and you want to get the word out, putting ads on TV or flyers up on a wall is not going to work the same way that it used to.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you have to be online. You have to be engaging with the global audience that we have built. We have to be engaging with everyone from every place. And for the African child, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to get your word out there, start small with your network, I would say, and start speaking to people. Build a platform, have a brand idea before you build a platform, actually, which is, I think, the most important thing. Lots of the time, people get a business idea and they rush right into just putting the first thing they see on Instagram or making a TikTok video and thinking it's going to blow up. No. Sit, have an idea, plan out your brand and have a clear vision for it. Then take to the streets being the media streets, social media, and follow that plan through. And slowly but surely, you will grow. You will find your audience and people will engage. And that is the best way, I would say, to start exposing any small business, no matter what it is. There is going to be somebody online looking for a creator or someone who is doing exactly what they're interested in.
Do you think someone needs to first have experience to start a business?
My answer would be no.
Yeah.
I think experience comes from starting. And if there is somebody who wants to do something and their lack of experience is deterring them from even starting in the first place, they're hindering an opportunity to gain experience, even if you have to create these opportunities yourself. I've always been a really big advocate for, I think I don't know whether or not I said it or it's just a saying, but if there are no opportunities knocking at your door, create them at home. You have the ingredients. all you have to do is sit and think. And if there are no opportunities that are blindingly obvious, there's no, blaring lights saying, here's an opportunity, quick, take it. There's an experience here. You want to go into finance. You're looking for every finance job, when you can create your own finance company if you want to, if you know enough.
Yeah.
If you want to go into modeling, no modeling agency will take me. There are so many different modeling things that you can do. There's so many different things that you can do to get yourself the exposure. You don't need experience to start something.
Yeah.
But once you start, use the experiences that, the lessons that you learn from doing that to do better next time. Even if it doesn't succeed when you first begin, create your own experiences and then use that to level up and be diversified from everybody else that has had their regular job, that has gone the traditional route. If you do something completely different, that is what everyone is looking for. We want innovation. We want something new. So no, I wouldn't say that experience should hinder somebody from starting their business.
Wow. From your point of view, where do you see opportunities in Africa, and where do you draw a difference from Western countries and African countries?
I think that's a really interesting question. It's something I have genuinely, being in Africa I've not been here for the longest time, but for the last 3 months I've been here, I've not left. And I think people tend to equate the level of success to how well someone is known in the Western world. So if there's, someone is successful in their small country, but they're not known in the UK, they're not known in the US, it's almost like it doesn't matter. I really, really urge for every young African entrepreneur, or just any young person, or any person, young or old, within the African continent to realize the value of what we have here. We're not only rich in natural resources, we're rich in talent. Coming here, even yesterday we were obviously at the gala dinner, there was a lady singing. If she was in the UK, that talent is something that we don't see that every day. Even the dances, when everyone was up and we were all singing and dancing, clapping in the circle, there were people improvising and dancing. And as a dancer, dancing like I'd never seen before. And my first thought was, if we had seen this on TV in the UK, these guys would have been huge. And we need to start appreciating the richness of the talent that we have right here at our front door. I don't think we're capitalizing off it enough. And actually we could, obviously not everything should be turned into, a business. Some things are just for fun. But if we do start to capitalize off the talent and the innovation that is being shown through young African people all throughout the continent, and the continent is huge. We are way bigger here than the States. And obviously Africa as a continent is way larger than the UK and way larger than most of Europe. We should be at the top. We really, really should be. And so I think for the people that are here within the African continent, I think it is time. It is time that we start appreciating the value of what we have got. And that being said, you don't need to travel. You don't have to go to Canada to be successful and, live where Westerners, you don't need to go there for success. If we make Africa the hub of success and the hub of opportunity, you'll see everyone trying to flood their way into here. And that's when we're on top and we'll have the power to say, no, this is our place, actually. There are singers I listened to a song from a Tanzanian lady and it was amazing. I loved it. And I said, I just don't have access to that. You're not pushing it to the other markets. But you also don't have to travel everywhere. You don't have to go to America first with, $5 in your pocket and hustle your way up just to show that you're successful. If you're at the top of the food chain here, do something with it. And make sure that there are opportunities for other young African people for generations to come to also be at the top of their food chain within their own continent. One thing that I really like is everyone is used to being up early in the morning here.
Yeah.
There's almost no time for laziness.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that, everyone in the UK is lazy or anything like that, because that's definitely not the case. But what I really like here is that everybody, first of all, there is a job available in nearly everything. Like, I go to the superstore and there's somebody there to guide the cars. No accidents parking your car. There's somebody there to tell you. Or even there, like people being hospitable and everyone being kind. It invites people to come back. And I think that's a really good business trick. To be welcoming in a place of work, even when I'm going shopping, I'm going to the pharmacy or I'm going to the market, just people offering to help simply because they're kind makes me think, okay, I want to come back to Togo, or okay, actually, I do want to buy from you because you've been kind to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a little extra. I'm going to give a bit extra to this. Even getting my hair done, the ladies being kind to me, putting things at a reasonable price, not inflating the prices for anything, makes me want to continuously go back. And they obviously, for things like hair, nails, and clothes, they could charge loads and get lots of money right off the bat, which is something that is often done in the Western world. Put things at extortionately high prices and call them exclusive.
Yeah.
As much as that does work for some people, I think what the African markets here that I've seen, especially in Togo, what they do is they price things reasonably so that you have the continuous flow of cash, which is a really, really, really smart business technique, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Instead of getting loads in one go and then losing that customer forever because you're too expensive, put things at a reasonable price, encourage people to tip. Tipping culture is huge. So you encourage people to tip, give a little bit more, and then they keep coming back. And every time they come back, because you're kind and because you put things at a reasonable price, they give you much more than. So it's almost like added interest to everything you price. You add a bit of, it's like a little consumer tax that they don't even realize that they're paying, but your business ends up making much more than you intended at the beginning, simply because you're reasonably priced, you do an amazing job, and everything is done to the precision here. I've noticed very precise, a job well done every single time, and people often don't leave until it's finished. They don't just leave something half done and go, like it's complete. And it's very, very smart business models, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you on that as well, because when I've been to the UK, I've been to the US, but one of the things I've seen is that the tipping culture is mandatory.
Yeah, a job well done will always get you more than you charge. There is no reason to inflate a price or to put a mandatory 12.5% on a bill that adds on every time you order something. You have to pay an extra 12%, and it just doesn't feel like a choice anymore. People won't want to come back. They'll feel like they're being robbed. But when you give people the choice to give you more without even saying anything, they will give. And each time, and I've noticed it within myself here, every time I go back, I feel, because they've been so good, I feel incentivized to give much more than they're charging me. Which is, I think, a really good lesson to take.
Wow, that's a good one. I want you to help us to validate our mission.
Yes.
So, as a community, we believe that we can change the continent.
Absolutely.
Through businesses. And we can make this continent very independent from all the political, social, and all other challenges the continent is going through through business. Do you think it's possible?
Of course. Of course, I think it's possible. I think change starts, if you want anything to change, you have to take the first step. There's nothing we can do sitting around complaining about a problem and not doing anything. So I think actually having not only a platform like this, but when it becomes a network of people connecting through this platform, that's when real change will start to happen. People will start saying, okay, actually, my business isn't a waste of time. Like, I can just start. I always say, just go for it. patience, of course, is needed. It is needed. But when you have an idea, and if you have the time, go in, jump in, right into the deep end, both feet first, and just see what happens. You will either sink or you'll swim. And I think with the African Child, it is really going to encourage people to start swimming.
Amazing. Do you also, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, being able to face any challenges?
Oh, that's a good question. I think, yeah, definitely. With everything in life, there are going to be challenges, of course. I think for me, when it comes to business, the largest challenges, I think because, well, with mine, I've never really had to think about the numbers of my audience. Like I had a team. So especially when I was working on, let's take my magazine, for example, my publication. We released a few issues, and that was really, really good. And we had the whole team working on it. I had someone to do the finance. I had a website designer and a magazine editor. I had stylists and photographers and journalists and all of this. And obviously, I was overseeing everything. So I would do all the final touches. I would edit every article. If something had to be moved an inch to the right, I would ask them to do it. But I had an entire team of people that were doing things that was really, really good. I think the challenges came when I wanted to add more to it and expand the audience, and I didn't know which way to go. So I had this idea: I want to expand the audience. I want to make this business more accessible to everyone. I want there to be something a little bit for maybe the tech people or people that are interested in a more corporate business instead of creative business. I want something to be there for the dancers, the actors, the computer scientists, the medical professionals. But that's way too broad, and I wanted to accommodate everyone. And I think for me, my biggest challenge was finding out that you can't please everyone all the time with everything that you do. You do have to pick a lane and specify things for people. And when you don't have experience in every field that you want to provide for, or you don't have any knowledge of any of those fields, it is very difficult to put yourself in the mind of them and give them what they want to see. Because I could say, okay, I want to create a publication for computer scientists because I've not done it before, but I don't know anything about computer science. I am not the most fascinated by computer science. So to create something like that for them, I would hit a dead end unless I had a specialized team, and that would come at extra costs. And have we broken even yet? Do we have enough disposable income to make that happen? Have we turned enough profits? And also, will we be abandoning our original audience to go in this completely new direction and take a risk for an audience that might not even want that? So I think having a clear vision and business plan is actually a lot harder than most people anticipate. Because as the world is changing all the time, your business plan is going to be changing almost daily with the introduction of AI, with social media, as I said before. Things are changing every day. AI was the biggest thing in the world. It was innovated. Everyone was so excited. And now people, the creators of some AI functions, are now scared of what they have created within the course of maybe 2 or 3 years. That is a massive attitude change, and now no one really knows what's real, what's not. So even with your own businesses, that sort of trajectory could really follow. You have to be on your toes, and you always have to be on it. There's almost no off days. You're always on call, and I think that's the difficulty that I found, always being on the clock, always on the phone. So I'd have to say, for the African Child, if you're going to start anything, be prepared to know that once you start running that race, it's very unlikely that it will stop unless you want everything to stop.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw them to you so that I also don't forget.
Okay.
So
The 2 people will remember.
The first question is, how have you been able to use your exposure in terms of experience to overcome those challenges you have just
Okay.
mentioned? And the second question, what is your dream?
Wow, okay. Oh, that's a good one. I think actually what I've learned, and this is something that I learned from my parents, especially my dad has always said, whenever you go to a space, make sure you leave it being remembered.
Yeah.
And he said that to me when I was very young, and I really took it on because I really do, whenever I go to any space, I make sure that I leave with at least one person there remembering who I am. There is an opportunity and a testimony in everything you go through in life, in any space you go through. Even coming here to Togo, I said there's an opportunity there. I came. Coming and doing this event, managing the event, and being here present on the days. I've come and I took those coffee breaks. I met you and I said, you know what? There's a man here from Uganda and I needed to speak to someone from Uganda. I could have been shy and just said, oh no, like I don't know him, I can't ask for a favor. Or I can see him, he is right here, let me go and talk to him. And next thing you know, we end up doing this as well. Two networks. And we both got an opportunity from it. And if one of us hadn't spoken, if we just didn't connect, then this would have been a missed opportunity for whoever it inspires online and for us both as well, because now we've created a connection and a network. And I would say that I have really learned that exposure is not only the best thing for your business, but the best thing to be able to live life to its full. You can't go around just being in solitude forever. It's a very lonely life. You never know who you're going to meet if you just say hello. All you have to do is be kind to people. You just have to be open to getting to know new people. And not everyone is going to be your friend, of course. Not everyone is going to like you. But if you never try to connect with other people because you think you're too cool, you don't want to do anything where you could be perceived, you don't want to be perceived, or you're just shy. Like, being shy is fine, but even there was actually a really shy lady at the workshop, but when it was her turn to speak, you could hear her. She was a really good speaker. And I definitely didn't underestimate her intelligence or anything, because although she didn't speak much in the social sessions, when it was her chance to speak, I felt like I could connect with her through her presentation. And that is enough for me to say, later on, I'm going to remember you because of not only who you were, but what you were what you have brought, what you have done. So I think exposure is very, very important for the African child, because you can be exposed anywhere, and it doesn't have to be, as we said earlier, in the Western world. This can happen at school. Your teachers, you have no idea what sort of life they've lived. Connect with them, respect them, be kind to them. The other kids you're in school with, you don't know who they're connected with. Stay in contact when you go to other places, other cities. If you go to university, if you have that opportunity, when you're at university, join the societies, join the sports clubs, meet new people, learn other languages, try and connect as much as you can. If you can speak more than one language, utilize that opportunity to connect with people from everywhere. And if you can't speak more than one language, learn another one. Even basics, try and communicate. It will really take you a long way, and it will increase your exposure as well.
Okay. That was personal, and she was talking direct to me because.
But you speak more than one. You do. And even that was the reason that we connected, actually. The fact that, because, you speak one language that I honestly,
you don't speak.
I didn't even know existed until I met you. So I said, I don't know what this language is, but I want to learn. And you speaking more than one language created this. Just that little thing about yourself created an entire network that's going to inspire hundreds and hundreds of people, maybe even thousands. So, good on you, Frank.
Thank you. We want to know your dream.
My dream.
As an individual. Then also we want you to share with us that dream you have for Africa.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. My dream as an individual. I have many dreams. I
Yeah.
think I'm at that point in my life. Obviously, I'm 21. I'm still quite. Well, I know some people. I know my younger sister will say I'm quite old, but
Yeah.
I'm still quite young. In
Just
terms
a
of
hustler.
I'm still quite young, so I feel like I'm at that stage in my life where I do know what I want to do, but because when you're young and you're creative, especially for young creative people, you've got billions of ideas all the time. You're like, oh, I want to do this and I really want to do that. And I want to combine everything. So I think right now, my first dream is to streamline my dreams.
Yeah.
But in terms of occupationally, what I want to do, I want to be able to create. Again, as I said, there are so many things, but one thing I really want to do is to be able to create a platform or a network of people where they can do things like we have done this week, networking, talking about business ideas, that sort of thing. Also, a safe space where people feel like if they can't step out on their own and start something new, they have a network of people where they can meet others, they can make friends, and then from those friendships, make them into something bigger. If they want to start a business together, they can meet people and find a partnership there.
Yeah.
If they just want a place where they can get out of the house and stop sitting at home on their smartphones or on their I was going to say a Game Boy, but that hasn't been a thing for a while.
Yeah.
On their technology things, on their Xbox or PlayStation, they just need to get outside. That's a place where parents can send them. So it's just a safe space for everyone to build and grow and connect. Another thing, actually, the reason I came here in the first place is because this is one thing I've always wanted to do since I was young, and I learned about things like colonization, all of this. I really wanted to find a way for us to reform the economic system of colonized African countries, which was all of them pretty much.
Yeah.
So all African countries that were previously colonized, I initially wanted to do the ones that were colonized by the British. Being a Nigerian born in the UK, there is sometimes a bit of guilt where I'm born and raised in the UK, but the British colonized my country of origin, Nigeria, and left their economy in tatters. And learning more about what they did there, you can see that the trend sort of follows in a number of African countries.
Yeah.
And since learning about that, obviously I was very young then, but since learning about that, what I really wanted to do was find a way to reform all economic systems within Africa so that we can capitalize properly from the raw materials that we produce, and become the rich nation that monetarily we really should be, and scientifically and logically it only makes sense for us to be at the very top, and yet somehow systems of corruption have worked that we end up at the bottom of the barrel every time, whilst being exploited for our raw materials, our artifacts. The British Museum has half the things in there are from Africa. Nothing in there is from the UK, really. And this is all culturally rich things everyone else is getting the money for but us. And so when I went to school, I studied economics and things so that I could learn the best ways to do this. Which I think leads actually really nicely onto my dream for Africa, is for us to have stable governments. So having the right people in office, so right people at the top of the food chain, people that aren't corrupt for money for themselves, but want to help Africa, want to help their countries. And then build a network, a system between all of these governments, Anglophone, Francophone, that it becomes the strongest intercontinental place in the entire world. There is no continent where every country has a connection that is positive. Africa should be the first. We are a continent that is almost on one full landmass. Again, that isn't the case for all the other continents. We're all connected. We can drive through everywhere pretty much. All the governments, all the people at the top should be people that aren't self-serving. They should be wanting to serve country.
Yeah.
That's what they should be wanting to do. And when they do serve country, they'll realize the value of connecting with all the other countries.
Yeah.
And once they connect with all the other ones, bridging that gap between Anglophone and Francophone countries, we become a stronger nation and we're on top of the world.
Wow. As the African community or a continent, we shouldn't have boundaries. We should walk through. Going to Togo and you have to have visas and you have to pay for them. Going to these other different countries around the continent. It is really frustrating and it is limiting us from growth.
To the African child, I'll speak to you and I'll speak to you. You can be whatever you want to be. You can sing, start singing. You can dance, start dancing. But if you don't move and you think that you need money to make your dreams come into a reality, to bring these ideas into fruition, you're really limiting yourself, and that's not okay. You have got the power to change not only your life, the lives around you, but the entire world if you just take that first step. Invent something new or do something that has already been done better than it has ever been done before. Master your craft. Be who you are. Be exactly who God has called you to be, and be the best at it. Thank you very much.